On the night of March 24, 2024, Iowa squared up against Holy Cross in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Being the top dog of women's basketball in the nation, Caitlin Clark sets the tone early for her squad, making tough buckets with a smirk as if she's just doing some light work.
Checks the shot clock. Foreman staying right with her. Off the spin, the help comes and one!
The Hawkeyes took a slight lead at the end of the first, and as expected, Caitlin continued her strong start in the following quarter by setting up Kate Martin in the right corner.
As well. Hey!
After splashing that corner three, the ladies wearing purple sense that CC is getting her groove on. And so, to prevent her from fully setting off, they tighten up the screws while also giving her a body bruise.
Foreman, one of the best defenders on this team. They're going to show hard, try to force.
Despite those blatant fouls, the game just went on as if nothing happened. And noticing that the whistleblowers were on their payroll, they leveled up the hostile mood and tried to take her out for good.
Yes, and you have other players who are going to knock down shots from the three-point line.
At first glance, I thought the contact was just purely incidental, but after looking at it from a different angle, there's no doubt that it was a premeditated attack, cause you rarely see a person having this much fun after someone just got whacked. See, Holy Cross thought they saw the last of Caitlin Clark after laying her out, but in reality, they didn't realize that they had woken a scoring beast from her deep sleep cause they just messed with no ordinary Iowan, but rather they poked the female boogeyman. Anyway, after shaking off the dust, Caitlin immediately organized her own personal revenge tour. First, she drills this sidestep three, which was complemented by a gorgeous backdoor dime that was delivered right on time.
Martin, backdoor from Clark.
Now, in the third quarter, CC continued her rampage as she hit them with back-to-back step-back splashes before getting around them easily with some fancy dribbling activity.
Clark off the crossover, goes to the left side and lays it up.
By the end of the third, Iowa's lead has already ballooned to 21 points. But see, even though Holy Cross was already waving the white flag, it didn't stop Caitlin from stepping on the gas even further as she picked their pockets like a seasoned robber.
Clark gets the steal, and Caitlin with the lay-in.
And to cap off her revenge campaign, she just bulldozed every purple shirt like a runaway freight train. When the dust settled, CC racked up a double-double of 27 points, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds, all because they tried to take her head off. That's just a taste of what happens when she gets pissed, and here are more satisfyingly savage revenge moments of Caitlin Clark that will surely put a smile on your face. Anyway, just like the bloodbath that she spilled against Holy Cross, there's also another college game where CC went completely unhinged right after they deliberately tried to put her down. And I'm talking about the night that fell on February 3rd, where Caitlin and her crew faced the Maryland Terrapins. Now, as usual, Caitlin caught fire early from downtown, hitting a logo three to open the game, then splashing another long bomb around the 4-minute mark of the first quarter before sinking this crazy logo three with a hand on her face.
Start. Clark from the logo and knocks it down.
Caitlin finished the opening frame with 14 points, but see, the Terrapins tried to spoil CC's splash party midway through the second quarter by giving her a body shot.
McDaniel draws a double, forced it up, rims it off. Another miss.
Based on the replay, it certainly felt like she took a liver blow from Manny Pacquiao with the way she writhed her body in pain, and you can clearly see that CC got the wind knocked out of her. Well, the good thing, though, is that this Iowan fighter will not go down for the count, and after gathering herself, CC quickly gets back on her feet and counters back with some big-time haymakers. Behind Caitlin's rage-fueled offense, the Hawkeyes closed out the half leading by 14 points, and in the second half, CC continued dominating the game by opening up her entire bag. First, she handed out a couple of nice backdoor assists, followed by this strong attack all the way to the rack.
Stop and start, gets to the bucket, easy layup.
Then she puts on the sauce before shoveling it up for the easy layup. And when the ball game was tied at 76 apiece, CC delivered this dagger three to set the tone en route to a Hawkeye victory.
Rises and buries it.
After the elbowing incident, Caitlin turned up the heat offensively and punctuated the night with a monster performance of 38 points, 12 assists, along with 6 rebounds. Anyway, as you learned from the previous stories, there's always going to be a serious repercussion if you try to take Caitlin Clark out of the equation. But see, even if you just poke the bear lightly, Caitlin is not the type of person who will just take the little shots of insults kindly. I mean, take the case of DiJonai Carrington, for example. So during one of their earlier matchups last season, Carrington grabbed the attention of everyone in the arena when she did this.
Carrington believes there's some acting going on.
It's pretty clear that Carrington was mocking Caitlin for apparently flopping. On the other hand, though, CC just kept a straight face as she walked to the foul line. While it seemed that Caitlin just shrugged off the incident, everyone knows that she'll eventually have her day of revenge after getting disrespected like that. And right on cue, in their next encounter on the night of August 28th, Caitlin wasted no time hunting Carrington right from the jump. I mean, first, she put Carrington on skates, even though there's no ice rink.
Double of the season, and Clark hits a three.
Moments later, CC brings her to the weight room for the easy scoop finish. And then, before the second quarter ends, she bumps her off to her own teammate and then drills a long three-pointer while she's lying flat on her face. Now in the third quarter, CC continues to destroy Carrington with this nasty step-back J. And when Carrington tried to shush her after dropping a bucket on her head, Caitlin quickly responded on the other end to send a strong message.
What does Clark have up her sleeve this time? Oh, she gets it to go.
When the final buzzer sounded, CC had 19 points, mostly scored against Carrington, and she also added 5 rebounds and 5 assists. Anyway, after battling it out in the regular season, the Fever and the Sun eventually crossed paths in the first round of the playoffs, and in Game 1, Carrington took Caitlin out with a dirty play that arguably ended the Fever season.
In pain after she caught that finger.
Playing with one eye shut, the Fever lost Game 1 with Caitlin scoring just 11 points. But see, even though that was the case, Caitlin didn't let Carrington off the hook that easily, as she had a little payback in the third quarter by taking the definition of an eye for an eye on a whole new level.
So Carrington knocked it away, and then Clark caught her with the left hand.
Well, aside from Carrington, it's no secret that Caitlin always had a huge target on her back the moment she stepped inside the court, and one of the teams that took turns punishing her was the Seattle Storm. So, the first incident took place on the night of May 23rd, and right before halftime, the 6'4" Izzy Magbegor sent a strong message to Caitlin by almost decapitating her as she went for the lay-in.
Drives baseline, and shot rejected by Izzy Magbegor.
Well, even though the refs turned a blind eye on this one, Caitlin had other plans in mind, and in the third quarter, she let her frustrations out by sinking 2 consecutive step-back triples. Then she sneakily snakes inside while finishing from the right side. Now, on the other end, Caitlin also locked them up with some tight D. And in the game's closing minutes, CC dug deep in her bag as she put on the moves to get a bucket in the paint.
High with assists now at 19.
Good move by Clark, and she forces it up in the rook.
Though the Fever came up short, Caitlin still ended up with a solid stat line of 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists right after getting smacked in the head. But see, her suffering at the hands of the ladies of Seattle didn't end their cause in their next encounter. It was Victoria Vivian's turn to fan the flames. Now, based on that clip, it looked like Vivians didn't do anything aside from talking smack on Caitlin. However, a video clip recorded by a fan told a different story. Cause, as you can see here, Vivian took a cheap shot of Caitlin right after she knocked down a 3-pointer on her face. And this explained the clip earlier, showing CC's hostile reaction. Anyway, frustrated with the bullying she's getting from both the refs and Vivians, CC just took the justice into her own hands by attacking with impunity. And then she served them up with some delicious dimes to AB before slamming the brakes to create some space for the long distance connection.
To the paint, they've got to keep it out.
Clark, step back, hits a three.